Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the video. I'm GetGoodGuy, and today I'm going to be talking about the Battlefield 5 multiplayer reveal, plus what I've seen and heard from other content creators. But before I get into that, apologies for the lack of videos for a couple of days. I actually moved house this weekend, so I've been super busy, but this does mean I'll likely be able to stream once I've upgraded the internet here, which I know many of my subs will be pleased to finally hear. But anyway, this isn't going to be a definitive list of changes, additions, mechanics, or anything like that. Everything is obviously also subject to change before the full release, so keep that in mind. I'm just going to mention what I'm aware of, and if I have anything specific to say about it, then I will do. Now, I should probably show some of the reveal trailer for those of you who haven't seen it. I'm going to shorten it and chop it up a little bit just to make sure I don't get a copyright claim, and secondly so this video doesn't drag on too much. If you don't want to watch it, then skip to the time shown on screen now, otherwise please enjoy. So, I'm going to jump straight in and say that I'm super happy with what I've seen so far. I hope this reveal will help to clear some of those negative thoughts that came about after the initial reveal of Battlefield 5, at least for some people. More specifically though, I'm going to lead off with something I'm a little worried about, but purely from my standpoint, rather than for the overall experience of the player base. That is that spotting has been altered quite a lot. You can no longer just light up every enemy by hammering the spot button and then chase them down from there. I think this will be great for the feel of the game. It'll help tactically and make it somewhat more realistic, but for me this isn't great due to my apparently now terrible eyesight, so I'm going to have to adapt or get my eyes fixed before October, but for most of you guys I think this is a great change. Next up, and in no particular order from here on out, I really like the new revive system. You can revive and be revived by anyone in your squad, but it will take longer than a medic revive and also won't restore you to full health. This is one of many mechanics that seem to be emphasizing squad play and indeed overall team play, something that Battlefield very much should be focused upon. Oh, plus I don't believe you can simply cancel your opportunity to be revived anymore, so there will be less occasions of people running out to help a downed ally only to be left staring at nothing as the guy respawns back in. And you can now drag downed allies to safer locations in order to revive them, which is also awesome and still balanced, as a poor choice to drag an ally will result in a quick double kill for the opposition. Now onto two topics regarding time to kill. First off, it looks as though people can be dropped pretty quickly, and I think that likely ties into weapons being more accurate than in Battlefield 1, where spread has been a big factor in gunfights. So if you can now hit the target more reliably, people will obviously die faster. Plus something else which we'll go into after topic 2. Topic 2 is that the sweet spot no longer exists for snipers. Instead, you will need to aim for headshots on full health enemies. But the headshot multiplier has been ramped up to 1.9 times rather than the 1.7 times we see in BF1, plus I believe I heard that the headshot hitbox will be larger than we're used to. This then ties in with the overall timescale of weapons in the game, as more enemies will be running around with less health. This is because you will no longer be able to regenerate your health back up to full on your own. You can regen a certain amount of health back, but to reach full health you'll need a medic or a heal pack from a designated location. So the lack of a sweet spot isn't a particularly big deal for snipers, as more enemies will be running around ready to be put down by a single body shot, and obviously every other weapon will also benefit from this health mechanic. To balance this out though, from a sniping perspective, apparently snipers will experience more bullet drop. If this is the case, then it adds an extra layer of difficulty to pulling off those one-shot kills at range. After this, we have that jump shotting will be possible in Battlefield 5. In BF1, you cannot fire your weapon after a jump until you touch back onto the ground. I personally find this to be quite limiting, so I'm very happy to hear that you'll be able to fire your weapon once you reach the apex of your jump, albeit with 10 times less accuracy. Next up, we have have better destruction. Things now react in a much more realistic fashion when damaged. So an explosion inside a building will blow outwards, and an explosion outside a building will blow into it. Plus, structures damaged by tanks, etc. will crumble, disintegrate, and drop down over time, rather than just collapsing as in BF1. To counter this destruction, we'll have the ability to build fortifications. This will allow you to hold down specific areas more easily, and I do mean specific areas. It appears you can't just build anything you want anywhere you want, otherwise I think it would get out of hand, so I'm pleased to hear that. The fortifications add a new layer to the game and helped combat the destruction, so we don't just have completely leveled maps by the end of a round. Although I'm not keen on the current animation and actual way you have to place fortifications, it all looks a bit clunky to me, so I hope that's altered a little bit before the full release. Moving on, you'll have animations for both entering and exiting vehicles, so you won't have people simply appearing out of tanks anymore and able to get the drop on you because of it. Then there's the lower amount of ammo available, meaning you have to be resupplied by supports even more so than in BF1, or go back to a restocking spot on the map. This again feeds into the added team play required in order to be effective, although I also heard you can pick up ammo from dead soldiers, which sounds awesome. I am though a tad worried about the flip side of all this team oriented play. I certainly want teamwork and a lot of it, but lesser health and ammo may make it extremely difficult for those who play alone a lot of the time. We'll have to wait and see. Now let's talk about grand operations. To me they sound epic. You'll have different days to go through which have different game modes, and they're affected by whatever happened during the previous days. This means that sometimes you'll go all the way through all the modes until you end up in a last man standing scenario. This couldn't sound cooler to me. I'm so down for that. Plus the ability to drop into the battlefield via parachute at the start is awesome. And then, as we're talking game modes, Battlefield 5 will have Battle Royale, and this could be both good and bad for the game. It's such an in-depth topic that it's better off having its own video. I will say though that I'm excited about the prospect of it if done well, but I do also have reservations about its inclusion in Battlefield 5 itself. And now I'll just close this all out by saying that I think the game looks amazing aesthetically. It just looks so damn good and actually gives me a fair few BF1 vibes as well, so I'm hoping I personally take to it quite nicely and don't suck super hard when it drops. But anyway, these were my thoughts. Feel free to share yours in the comment section below. Now let's go over to the Board of Awesome for the epic people who allow you to get content from me full time by supporting the channel on Patreon. They are the main reason you're watching this video right now, so thanks to everyone on here. If you want to join them on the Board of Awesome, the link to the Patreon page is in the description and my pinned comment. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you don't want to miss future videos, turn on notifications with the bell button. When you do so, you then need to hit the options button if it pops up for you, and select to always be notified to make sure you don't miss anything. With that said, feel free to like, share and subscribe. I'm GetGoodGuy and I'll see you next time. Laters.